is me, Ezra, and welcome back to another video. Before I actually begin, let's just appreciate the background. Do you guys like it? Because I do, like, ba-bam. But anyways, yes, today is voting day for Puerto Rico. I am wow. Anyways, good luck, good vibes. Yeah. So today we are going to be talking about petition, how to make petition papers, how to make them, what they are, how to use them, and so much more. If you would like to learn about petition papers, then continue on watching. What exactly are petition papers? Petition papers are pretty much the written format of what you want to manifest. So basically, in other words, it is the written version of your intent, therefore what you want to manifest. So I like to say that it is similar to a sigil. So also, if you would like to learn how to make sigils and learn more about them, you would click on the little thing right there, little bubble thing. The video is a little bit longer than usual, but it is because I did do my best to cover as much as possible in one video. I noticed that mistake, my friend told me, and yeah, I'm gonna do my best to not make the same mistake as I did before. That being said, I do like to say that petition papers are similar to sigils, because the difference that sigils, in my opinion, and petition papers have is that with petition papers, you're using a statement or a sentence or a whole paragraph or anything that pretty much is your intention. You're writing your intention on a piece of paper. And in sigil making, you are using a statement or a sentence or anything to make a symbol out of your intention or what you wrote, should I say. So pretty much the petition paper, instead of you using that intention that you wrote in order to make a symbol, you would just use it like that. Like, that is your petition paper. This is your request to deity, to whomever you believe in the universe, a specific god, a specific spirit, your ancestors, or whatever you work with overall. This is the piece of paper that is pretty much it is imbued with what you want to bring or banish from your life, from your surroundings, and so on forth. Now, of course, there are many ways on how to make petition papers, though from what I've noticed is that usually petition papers are done when it comes to love spells, but it is not limited to that. And by usually, I mean that when you look up petition papers, for at least when I was the one doing the research, I did notice that a lot of people were doing, petition papers for love. Obviously, I did find for, protection, banishing, for money and stuff like that. But, I did find more for love spells, being to attract love, to get a man to actually stay with you, or whatever that may be. The point being that, usually from what I've noticed, petition papers are done when it comes to love spells, but of course, you don't really need to limit yourself to just using them when it comes to that. You may also use them in other spells. Now, from what I noticed when it comes to petitions that are done for love, is that they use a type of petition that I noticed some people call name papers. Name papers being that the information that you would put into the paper, the piece of paper, is that of the full name of the person that is the target, and sometimes it includes yours, and their birth date. But of course, that is a type of petition paper. You don't really need to use that method, considering you would be using someone as your target. Target being someone that you want to take control over their free will, or someone that you just simply want to dominate in a sense. As I said before, petition papers aren't just limited to love spells. You can also make other versions. So for example, you can make a petition paper in the form of a prayer. This is what also some people refer to as prayer paper, and you can make the prayer paper directed towards a specific deity or specific spirit. Again, when it comes to on how you use it, there are many ways. Some people actually like rip out a page and maybe cut the part of the page that actually represents their intention. You do with that what you will. At the end of the day, it is your path. I can't tell you what to do and what not to do. But if you feel like you shouldn't, don't do it. If you feel like you should or can, by all means. Witchcraft is secular and it is your path. I don't know what to tell you. The point being that some people do cut a piece of the book that people consider sacred and just use that as their petition paper. Some people, instead of cutting it, they may get a piece of paper and they may literally write that part of the book that they want to use in order to have it represent their intention. Now, when talking about petition papers, I mentioned name papers and prayer papers. Those are just a few of the names that I've noticed that people have mentioned when it comes to petition papers. But overall, in my opinion, I feel like petition paper is just like an overall, like, general term that encompasses like the whole, like, I guess, types of petition papers. So you don't need to say, oh, the name paper, the prayer paper, the whatever paper. No, you can just literally say a petition paper. That's it. The rest is just like you explaining what you did with that piece of paper, it being the petition paper. Now, according to what I've researched, in the Hoodoo tradition, it is most commonly advised that people use brown unprinted paper. Unprinted paper being that it is a piece of paper that doesn't have a design literally printed on the piece of paper. Brown because it is believed that paper should be used in its most natural state. Being obviously that paper being brown is when it's natural. When it's white, if I'm not mistaken, it is like bleach, and there's like a whole chemical process that actually turns it white. Mentioning that the paper should be used when it's in most natural, that also includes that the edges of the paper shouldn't be device or machine cut. Therefore, you would cut the edges of the paper with your hand. On the other hand, however, from what I have researched as well, the Hoodoo tradition is also known for pretty much working with what they had, because back in the day, slaves didn't have what we have right now, so they really couldn't afford to waste precious materials. That being said, practitioners are known to make something out of nothing. So if you obviously don't have a piece of paper that is brown and unprinted, then what you would use is just a normal piece of paper, anything that you would write on. So as a matter of fact, if you were to have a piece of construction paper, you can use that. If you have a heart-shaped piece of paper or whatever, then you can use that for love spells, or anything for that matter. The shape of the paper is just something that pretty much aids in your working, but it doesn't really necessarily have to be used for love specifically, although I recommend so. If you were to have a dollar bill, like a literal dollar bill, I mean, I don't really suggest you do that because I believe that's illegal. I haven't really looked into it. Let me know in the comment section if you would wish to. Some people are known to actually make the petition papers on a piece of a dollar bill, on the dollar bill. Whether it be fake or real, it depends on you. I don't suggest it, I don't do it, but to each, at the end of the day, their own. So yes, if you want to make your petition paper on a piece of toilet paper, by all means. If you want to do it on, like I said earlier, on a piece of a, holy book, then by all means, you can do that. I mean, at the end of the day, anything that you can write on, you can use as, a petition paper. Mind you, petition paper, yes, okay, paper, the word, but you don't really have to limit yourself to just paper. You can also use fabric and a piece of candle. What you would do is just literally write on the candle or carve the petition that you want to. Obviously, you won't want to make a petition, be really long, considering this is like a very small piece of candle, or a small candle, should I say. But yes, pretty much anything that you can write on, just like with a sigil, you can also make petitions. Now, similar to sigils, petition papers can be as short and simple or as long as detailed as you want them to be. Now, again, as I suggested in my sigil making video, which again, I highly suggest you watch it, I suggest that you also practice like what I call shifting your energy to what you want to manifest. So, for example, like I said in my sigil video again, I suggest that if you're making a petition about love, I suggest for you to literally feel what it would feel like to be loved. Feel what it would feel like to love. Feel what it would feel like to simply not only be loved, but also be around that environment. Literally visualize yourself with that person. Visualize what you're writing and feel what you're writing. And once again, last but certainly not the least, petition papers aren't just limited to just being words. You can also include sigils or herbs or oils or literally anything else that corresponds to the intention that you're trying to manifest. So if you want to include a certain type of oil for your petition to actually have more of an oomph, you can do so. You can also include moon water when making petitions. So literally you would anoint the paper or the whatever you're using with the moon water. How to make moon water? Really easy. I have a quick video on how to make it, but essentially it is just water that is charged under the moonlight, and there's more to it, but essentially that is what it is. Honestly, you can be, like I said, as simple or as detailed, I guess, as you want. You can even make a whole ritual out of making petition papers. Honestly, it really depends on you and what you feel like doing. And also, like I said, follow your intuition, because at the end of the day, your intuition is like a guide. It will guide you to what it understands would do best, or will actually give you better results. I also suggest when it comes to making petition papers or anything that includes writing, I suggest that you also use ink with the color that corresponds to your intention. So again, for example, you would say you would use red for passionate love, for anything that has to do with love, sex, lust. When it comes to purple, you can use it for anything that it relates to focusing, or anything related to psychic abilities. You can use yellow for happiness, anything that has to do with the solar plexus chakra. Green when it comes to healing, health, healing and love when it comes to the heart chakra. You can use blue also for healing, communication for the blue chakra. You can use pink when it comes to soft, romantic, more of an emotional type of love. Also when it comes to friendship, anything that has to do with deep emotion when it comes to being soft. What else? But black as an overall general ink, but also it can be used for banishing, protection, and so on. Pretty much literally any ink that corresponds to your intention. You can also use oil. You can write with oils that correspond to the intention that you want to manifest. The amount of herbs and things that you want to include when making your petition paper, just like anything else, in my opinion, you should just let your intuition tell you, although you can opt for using numerology. So as a general term, typically people tend to use 3 and 5. You aren't limited to just using those. You can use the number 7. So for example, 7, I don't know a lot about numerology, I'm not gonna lie to you. For example, 7, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it is used for luck and money and like I think abundance and like wealth and stuff like that. So you can use that when it comes to actually using stuff like that, you know, if that is what you want to manifest, and so on and so forth. So again, to recap, when it comes to the amount of things that you want to use when it comes to making your petition paper, just like anything else, you would use either your intuition to guide you into letting you know like, hey, you can use or you should use this amount of things, or you can use numerology. Now, how exactly do you make a petition paper? So I think it's I kind of just explained it, but I mean, I'm gonna go over it once again to be more specific and directly answer the question. So the way that you would make a petition paper, generally you would only need 2 things, which is anything that you can write on and anything you can write with. Again, typically brown on printed paper, but you can also use anything that you can write on, literally. And when it comes to anything that you can write with, you know, personally, I recommend permanent ink because it feels to me as if when you write when you make a petition paper, actually just like anything else when it comes to writing, then you use permanent ink that cannot be like erased or anything like that. You're pretty much declaring that like what you're doing is exactly what you want. Like there's no going back, you know. It's like I think I remember a YouTuber saying something along the lines of like, it's kind of like when you sign like a document or something like that, like you're literally just like saying, hey, this is exactly what I want, I did what I did, that's it, period. You know what I mean? So I feel like it gives it a little bit more of like a symbolic strengthening, because well, it is permanent ink. Like I said, you can also use ink that corresponds to the intention that you would want. So I said red for love, pink for anything emotional, blue for healing, communication, yada yada yada. Now, as I said earlier, when making petitions, I recommend that you think of sigils, or at least when I say this, I mean, and I am referring to the video that I made about sigils, which is basically that, like I said earlier, instead of you making a symbol, you're actually literally going to be writing exactly what you want. And the same rules as sigil making, or at least the sigil making that I recommended in my video, apply. And those are to basically keep the sentence, the paragraph, or simply the statement in a positive statement, and to have it worded as if you already have it. So for example, instead of saying he is not a liar, you would say he is honest. Instead of saying I don't have debt, you would say I am debt free, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to lie to you. Like I said earlier, I do use my intuition a lot when it comes to my practice. So if I feel like I shouldn't really like be using like that method, then I don't use it. Period. You know. And also there are many ways on how people make sigils and how people practice their craft. So some people actually do not use my method, so that being they don't use the positive and the as if they already have it method. They just simply write exactly what they want on a piece of paper, being it however they want to express it, and that's it. So again, your intuition is like a big key when it comes to your practice, more specifically when it comes to, you know, making any petition papers and pretty much anything that you are going to write with, but overall literally anything in the craft, I feel like. And as I said earlier, I recommend that as you are writing, you also feel the emotion that pretty much what you want would make you feel. So again, you know, what would you feel like? Think about it, visualize yourself being in that situation. How does being in that situation, or having whatever you want or not having whatever you want, make you feel? Like literally feel it, and like visualize like the energy of the thought. Literally visualize all of the energy that you are pretty much accumulating inside of you. Literally go down your hand and into the piece of paper, like literally as you're writing, and visualize visualize every word having the energy. You can visualize it as a glow or whatever you want to. Typically, I literally visualize it as a glow, or specifically a glow corresponding to the color that I want. So if I don't have red ink and I want to, you know, get a little steam in my life, then I would visualize it red. And actually, if the ink is red, then I would visualize the red ink actually like being like more intense and more like glowy. Now, just like anything of the craft, you can also combine your knowledge when it comes to making sigils. So what I mean by that is that you can also make a petition just like anything, any other type of working on a specific lunar phase. You can also do it in a specific day of the week. You can also do it in a specific month. You can also do it on, I guess, if you're gonna go like really detailed, though with this one in particular, I don't know anything about, but I do remember reading something about this. I just didn't really care enough because to me it was just like too detailed. You can also use like a specific hour that corresponds to your intention. Again, I don't know too much about it. I feel like maybe that has to do with like numerology in the sense of like, you know, 7 being like the lucky number and like anything that has to do with like money and abundance and stuff like that. But like I'm not really entirely sure, so I don't know. But like that's an idea that I guess I'm like letting you know so that you can research. And yes, again, like I said earlier, you can use herbs, oils, anything that corresponds to your intention. Like literally, when making anything of the craft, you can combine the knowledge to make what you're making even more powerful. Hi guys, I'm back and I'm actually going to be teaching you now how to make a very simple petition. If you are wondering, yes, these are a few petitions that I'm practically going to use at the end to give you demonstrations on different ways on how to make a petition. It's going to save me a lot of time, so yeah, I did that. Anyways, this petition in particular, I feel like is one of the, if not the most simplest ways on how to make one. And yes, and the petition that I'm going to be doing is actually based on me wanting to banish, get rid of people from my life. And yeah, so basically this means that if you want to do something to bring to you, then you would do the opposite of what I'm doing, meaning if I if I rip away, you're gonna rip towards you, and so on and so forth. So again, so you know, this is for banishing. So the first step is to rip out the machine or device cut edges. So because I want to banish, I would literally cut away from me, then counterclockwise, cutting away from me. And also, if you wish, you can say something that you know, relates to your intention. Well, not relates, that corresponds to your intention. So you would say, I want to write down negative people be gone. So what I could say is leave me alone every time I cut an edge. So this is already, you know, cut. So what I'm gonna say in this one is leave me alone. You know, that's it. So you would go back to where it all began. Now, the second step is basically to write your intention in the form of a simple short sentence 3 or more times. So I am literally gonna write negative people be gone. In your case, you can write down whatever you want to. And as I am writing, I am literally going to be feeling or visualizing, or whatever may seem easiest for you, how it would feel like to have these people away. How, like, think about the relief, the stress-free, the weight being lifted from your shoulders, the peace and quiet, you know, that you would have when these people literally leave you alone, that they are not near you, and so on and so forth. Like, literally think about that. And as you are writing, I want you to literally visualize like the energy of your thoughts and like your feelings going down from your mind or your body overall, wherever your center is, to actually go through your hand into the pen and actually to the ink that you are actually writing. So I made a mistake, but it's fine. The intention is still there. That's what matters. Okay, so now that you wrote your intention, the third step is to pretty much turn it counterclockwise and write your full name and birth date across the intention either 3 or 5 times. I think this really depends on like numerology. Typically people write it 3 times, and 5 times I think it's just like you asserting more dominance over this situation or person. I'm not entirely sure, but in terms of like how I do it, I write it 3 times or more depending on like what I feel should be done. Some people just write their name, but I recommend to write your full name and your birth date. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Okay, so now that this is done, the petition is literally done. Like, this is already made. This is how the petition is supposed to look like. So pretty much this is your petition. Now, some people actually choose, wow, I just noticed this is literally the same petition. Wow. Anyway, some people choose to literally do this, to sign their petition. So literally they would turn their petition a little bit and literally sign like this. So this is how the petition normally is supposed to be, and they would literally turn it a little bit and sign over their name and the petition. So literally like this, as you can see, my name, and then turn it, and bada bing bada boom, it's done. Some people choose to encircle their petition with a sentence or phrase that relates to their intention. So they would literally do this, so for example, I want negative people to be gone from my life, from my environment. So I wrote, encircling that petition, leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone, to have them just literally leave me alone. So let's say that you want to make a petition for someone else, or let's say not for someone else, but rather have a petition made for you and someone else. So it would be a petition where you would include the information of you and the other person. So literally that is exactly what you would do. So you would, god darn it, what you would do is write their name, assuming that they are going to be John Doe, and then you would write your name across theirs, assuming that you are Osiris Lopez, right? So what you would do is then encircle both names with what you want to happen between them. So in this case, I want these people to be kinder to each other. I want Osiris to pretty much be kinder to John Doe, so it would be me. I literally wrote, be kinder to me, be kinder to me, be kinder to me. And the way that I did that was in cursive, as you can see, the same way that I did it here. And mind you, what I did was I did not cross the T's and dot the I's and so on. And when I reached the end, I connected the lines. If it passes, it's fine as long as you connect it. And literally that is pretty much how you make a simple petition. So there are many ways on how to make a petition. Honestly, it's just a matter of time, what you want to use, how you want to do it, and honestly your intuition, again, is very important in my opinion. And there are many things that you can do as well after you are done. But remember that after you are done, like, this is literally your petition. Like, your petition can be as simple as this. What to do after you have done the petition, I'm actually going to show you in another video. There are many things on how to use your petitions. And because I don't want to make the video like an hour long, again, I'm just going to cut it into 2 parts. And yes, that would literally be it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope that you guys found it extremely useful. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below. And yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I don't know what else to say. So if you guys liked it, be sure to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I shall see you guys later. Bye.
You made me feel so much better.